Rise and shine, it's a brand new day. Ken can take the stage, ready to play. Weekdays at 10, the cars in the scene. Coffee in hand, they're living the dream. Aggression in the voice, got the whole town awake. Bringing fire to the mic, make no mistake. Shows in the corner, spitting out facts. Dropping truth bombs, ain't holding back. Ken in the morning, feel the heat. From 10 a.m. CST, can take a seat. Live and loud, that break in the mind. Light up your speakers, crank up the sound. They're talking about life upside down. Opinions exploding like a sonic blast. In the studio, they're built to last. With passion and grit, they engage and ignite. Every single week, they're a force can't fight. From sports to politics,
this is a Huddle Sports Network broadcast. You can find us on Roku TV, Amazon Fire TV, Facebook, and of course YouTube. Get all your NFL news here first.
Good morning. Welcome to another edition of Ken and Ken in the Morning. I believe that's Joe coming in. Is that a Joe coming in this morning?
Yep.
Yeah, I just got to wait for his camera to catch up to what he wants to do. Come on, Joe. There he is. Good morning, Joe. How are you doing this morning?
What's up, guys?
So, hey, I was just posting the Raider Nation as you came in. Every day when I repost this to Raider Nation, I always have something fun to say. Today was the Chiefs can suck Joe's left nut.
That's
I figured,
horrifying.
Just make sure they don't ignore the right one.
let me make sure I get this out to Viking Nation here because what I'm about to say definitely concerns them. You guys hear the news for the Vikings yesterday? Addison Russell.
Oh, fucking Addison, yeah. Fucking Johnny Jackass got himself suspended for 3 fucking games.
Yes, he did. Brent says, "Good morning, Joe." The right one. Yeah, 3-game suspension for Addison Russell,
including the season opener. And who are the Vikings playing in the season opener?
Some team that Bill Nesmith really loves, the Bears. He likes to talk about them every day. So the Bears, and then in week 2, who do they get to play?
I don't know. The Packers?
Yes, they do. Don't you? Is it week 2? First
No,
2 weeks are all divisional, baby.
No, we play the Commanders week 2.
Oh, you guys got screwed because we get the first 2 games of our division. I thought you had division in week 2.
Nope.
Oh.
Man.
So, once he does his appeal, they might shave a game off for the appeal if he appeals it. Yeah, but he's going to miss week 1. And look at week 2, the Redskins, I mean, that's bad too. Look, if you got a brand new rookie quarterback, and now you just took away one of his 3 top threats. Look, we already know with that team, you've got a competent defense, you can shut JJ down. The problem with that was, like last year for the Bears shut JJ down in both games. But Addison Russell had good games in both those games. Right? He had pretty good – I mean, he was the guy who did the damage receiving. That's a problem with having 2 good receivers. Well, the problem. It's a good thing. You shut one down, the other one usually gets a little something, something. It's the guy who kills you, right? So it's like in Cincy, Joe's like, oh, okay, you want to shut one down? I'll go to 2. Well, that's what Minnesota's had. You want to shut JJ down? I'll go to Addison. Oh, you're going to shut Addison down because he had a big game last week? Then I'll go to JJ. That's right, the situation. But now there is no Addison. You shut JJ down, you contain Hawk. He's got no one to throw to, and you got a brand new rookie quarterback making his NFL debut. That is huge for them. Good morning, Nicholas. I'm trying to get my mouse to work. There we go. Well, Jefferson be ready by week 1. No, John, he will not. Good morning, Nicholas. So,
Hey, what's up there, man?
So if you think about it, this suspension, the first 2 games, really hurts the Vikings big time offensively. I mean, their defense is going to be their defense, right? Good to go. But offensively, for your first two games, going against two good defenses, that smells problems for Minnesota. Now, I will say this.
It just up to Bears' chances, I'll say that.
Well, yeah, that, but there is a silver lining for them in a way. Because it is week 1 and week 2, the defenses kind of have a little bit of an advantage to begin with. So they might be able to stay in this game because defensively, if the Bears aren't there offensively with the brand new offense we're installing, and if Washington isn't there offensively with their offense and Scary Terry issues, their defense might keep them in the games and make it a game where they can come away with the W still. Now, if this is week 8, 9, 10, maybe it's a completely different story. But I think because it's week 1 or 2, a.k.a. the preseason, they might at least be close in this game, in these games. But it is definitely, it's still, that doesn't mean it doesn't hurt them. It still hurts them big time. But their defense is good enough that, like the Bears last year against Tennessee, yeah, the offense wasn't there in that week, in that 3 game. But the defense basically created the victory.
Hey, hold on. You're taking credit away from Will Levis giving the game away. Because that was some of the worst quarterbacking I've ever seen in my fucking life.
Well, it's because the defense creates pressure, stuff like that. But what I'm saying is the defense early on in the season is going to keep them in the game. So really for the Vikings, it's at minimum 2 games. If he does the whole suspension 3, it's really bad for your development of your first year start. I don't want to say rookie quarterback, first year starting quarterback, right? That you're taking one of his main weapons away, and it's going to make them a little less, more. It's going to make them more one-dimensional in the passing game, right? So it's not going to. Fine.
There you go, Mike.
Fine, whatever, Mike. But
hey, why thanks there, Nick?
But yeah, I mean, it's gonna hurt JJ, right? So with I'm not worried about how Caleb looks at camp yet. Let me sidetrack. There was a video where Caleb, the Nets, and he missed the. I mean, dude, yeah, they were bad throws.
Terrible.
And but here's the thing: you see his reaction. He's all pissed off. He walks off. The very next round, every single ball was a perfect dime. It's like it's practice, dude. I'm not concerned. Don't be too concerned yet, Billy. Don't be too concerned yet. I mean, it's practice. Practice and preseason, I don't really get concerned about overall. But no, back to Justin Jefferson. I think this is huge for Minnesota, man. I think it changes their trajectory in the first 2 games, at least, if not the first 3. Because I don't know if he appeals it. If he does appeal, do they take a game off? Does it go from a 3 to a 2 game, or do you think the NFL says nope? It's 3.
I think they stick them with the 3.
So it's the Bears, the Commanders, and who's the 3rd game for Minnesota? Where's Luka?
No. We are playing the Commanders week 2. I don't know about the Vikings.
Oh, I thought you said they were. Okay.
Yeah,
well,
yeah.
Ken, confusing me before I finish my first.
It's not my fault you didn't pay attention.
Okay, here we go. Okay, so week 1 they're in Chicago. Week 2 they get Atlanta at home. Ooh, in week 3 they get Cincinnati Bengals in Cincy. No, wait. No, at home. They're at home.
I don't care if they're on the moon. You better hope you have all your offensive firepower for that game, because that game's going to be a fucking track meet.
And really, Atlanta, I mean, let's not sleep on Atlanta. Atlanta's a pretty solid football team. They're a contender for their division, which compared to the North might not say much, but so basically he's going to miss the Bears game, the Falcons at home, and the Bungles at home. I mean, the Bungles have no defense, so we got our Caleb coming out. Get your translator out for that one. Yeah, Green Bay gets Detroit. Wait. Yeah.
No,
we do make the best duck calls. So, yeah, I mean, this is going to hurt them. I mean, I don't think they start 0-3. But it's gonna be hard it's a little bit harder for them to get the W now. Definitely not good for JJ.
Mm-hmm.
Taking a weapon away, because you can shut the other JJ down. Teams have shown you can shut him down.
And I think that's got to be the strategy, right? Like going in the first 3 games, they're like, all right, well, now we get to put 2 guys on JJ and, beat us, try to beat us now.
Put 2 guys on JJ, make sure you got Hawk covered. And as long as you got that, you can pretty much shut him down. Right? I mean, make someone else step up and make JJ deliver balls that maybe aren't expected. I mean, it's not good look for Minnesota.
But this is where the Bengals are going to miss Trey Hendrickson.
Yeah.
Because they sure would be nice to have that guy, chasing down the rookie quarterback.
Yeah, no new news on yes, we do. Sure, we have Dennis Allen as our defensive coordinator. That's correct. No new news on any of the holdouts or hold-ins. They're all doing hold-ins. Smart guys. They all went to hold-ins. No new news on trades or contracts for any of them. We did get a Keenan Allen signing. Like, go figure, he went back to the Chargers. We kind of said as much. He said as much. He said he'd only come back if he went to the Bears, the Chargers, or the Rams. And when the Bears drafted Luther, that was kind of like, well, not going back there. When the Rams got Devontae, it was like, well, we knew he wasn't going to go there. And the Chargers, oh, look, your best receiver retired, huh? I guess I'm coming back. So good for him. He'll get to retire a Charger, where he spent most of his career anyways. I was nice to have him for the year we had him in Chicago.
Yeah, I was going to say, when you think of him as a Charger.
Yeah. So there's the ESPN news. So the Mouse, because the Mouse owns Disney owns ESPN, now also owns part of the NFL, or vice versa. The NFL has a 10% stake in ESPN. However, NFL Network, the Red Zone channel, and all their video streaming stuff now goes ESPN. ESPN also gets all of the NFL's fantasy football. So they are now the official fantasy football of the NFL.
It's a smart move for Disney, but
to me,
it's a smart move for Disney, but it's how is it possible now to avoid a conflict of interest? Like, the NFL owns part of ESPN. It's like, come on, dude.
So here's
and
the
now,
thing.
From the way you were saying, it sounds like you got to bounce between networks when you used to be able to just watch NFL Network and get all of that right there.
Well, okay, let me give you guys more details, and let me also say this. This deal is not official. It cannot become official until it's cleared the FCC and other governmental things, as usually is the case with deals of this nature. The FCC is going to have to approve of it, right? Let me see if I can get the actual deal. Okay, so YouTube will still own the rights to NFL Sunday Ticket. ABC, ESPN, Disney, NFL Network, right, is going to be one entity. Then you have the Fox, CBS, Paramount, Nickelodeon, NBC, Peacock, Amazon, and Netflix. All have individual rights to certain games. However, ESPN gets rights to the Red Zone brand and will distribute the NFL Red Zone channel to paid TV operators for continued inclusion in their sports packages. So I guess now if you get the Sunday Ticket, you no longer get Red Zone channel because that used to come with it, but now ESPN has the rights to that, and so maybe the price is going to go up, right? The NFL will continue to own, operate, and produce NFL Red Zone, which might be good for the guy who hosts the Red Zone right now, that he gets to keep his job, and we don't get Stephen A. Smith pontificating in between plays, because that was one of the concerns we talked about last night on Open Mic. And it'll also own and operate NFL Films, NFL Plus, NFL.com, NFL Podcast Network, the NFL Fast Channel, and the official sites for all 32 teams. But ESPN Fantasy Football will now merge with NFL Fantasy Football to become the official fantasy football of the NFL. And of course, they get the 10% stake. And there's been I don't know how much money the NFL is getting out of this, but that's going to. There's obviously going to be a certain dollar amount for that too.
I just got to say this because I'm sure a lot of people are thinking it. I think that I think Disney owning the rights to NFL films is going to be a bad thing.
They don't own NFL films. So what it sounds like is, it sounds like the NFL is retaining NFL films. It's theirs. Disney now owns NFL Network, meaning the daily shows that are on NFL Network. They own the rights to distribute the Red Zone channel. However, NFL still maintains creative control, I believe, on it, which is good because some people what's the name of the guy who does it now? I like him. He's good. He's like a real news
Scott
guy.
Hanson or something like that.
Yeah, he just tells you what's going on. He doesn't break down the X's and O's. He doesn't try to pontificate. He doesn't try to do anything. He's just like a normal dude watching football. Say, oh my God, watch this next play. Look at this 83-yard pass and catch for a touchdown. Like, that's what you want on the Red Zone Network, right? That's how we like it. It's the highlights. It's live as shit's happening. Oh my God, did you see this? Hey, let's go over here where this crazy thing is going on. He doesn't try to break down plays. He doesn't pontificate. There were rumors that Stephen A. Smith or Booger McFarland could be one of the guys, maybe take over the role on Red Zone Network. I'm sorry. Stephen A. Smith on Red Zone? No, thank you. The other problem I think, Joe, too, with this is because now the Mouse owns NFL Network and all its shows, it's going to have more of a say in what is said. And let's face it, ESPN's become very political over the last year or two or three or four. The NFL Network has not been political at all. They've stayed away from the politicalness, just like NHL Network, just like MLB Network. They've stayed away from the politics for the most part, right? For them, I mean, every so often a little dribble gets in, right? A little bit gets in, maybe for if something massive has happened, but it's not like, right, ESPN where it's every day. I think that's going to be problematic for the NFL too, because the Mouse, we know where they sit. And we already know how much they've pissed off not just an entire state, but half the freaking country with their politics, which is like, just do your business. If they do that to the NFL Network, which already has a lot of bad takes, it's going to drive viewership down.
Well, I'm glad to hear that they don't own NFL films, because now, like, with the AI and stuff, they would go crazy, dude. It's like we go back and watch, like, the 1976 Super Bowl, and all of a sudden half the players are, like, lesbian people of color. And, you know what I
mean? All it does is remind me of the South Park episode with the walkie-talkies.
It's like, and you know what would happen? That's the thing. It's like, oh, the NFL was racist back then. People of color and especially in the LGBT community weren't properly represented. So we fixed that for you. It's like Terry Bradshaw wearing a dress. Like, dude, come on. I know I'm not the only one thinking that. Disney couldn't wait to get their hands on NFL films, dude. Like, no, leave the NFL films alone. Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, ESPN.
You don't have to ruin everything.
ESPN's numbers have been going steadily down. Like, ESPN used to be great. It used to be, here's the highlights. You had guys with great one-liners.
Was it great, or was that the only choice that we had at the time?
Well, I mean, even though it was the only choice we had at the time until Fox Sports came up a little bit more, like FS1 and that, and there were other stuff, it was still great. Because, like, Chris Berman did editorial.
I like NFL. I was going to say, Tom Jackson and Chris Berman, NFL Countdown, that was always one of my favorites, dude.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, they didn't editorialize. You had, Stuart Scott with his one-liners. You had, like, the original SportsCenter guys were just news guys, right? And you had. All right. Anyways,
hey, Joe. JJ's already trying to get aboard the Disney train. He's going to be the one putting the dress on.
Yeah, I mean, okay, I'll get to Motel. Let me get to that. I'll get to your comment here in a second. Back in the day, it was great because they would just they were just giving you the highlights, and you get some great one-liners, right, and some great catchphrases. Now you've got Stephen A. Smith who pontificates everything. Everything's politics. Oh wait, the man said he wants to run for president. So you didn't see that where Stephen A. Smith said he's running for president.
Is gonna vote for that guy?
Some idiot will. But
yeah,
not enough
get maybe one vote.
But
not enough idiots.
Pardon the interruption, might as well have been on CNN or Fox. It was a politics show almost. ESPN has become very politics, and well, we're going to break down the play and why you're an idiot and don't know why they scored this touchdown. I mean, go back to what ESPN was, and it'd be great. But so ESPN numbers have been dropping. So how do you generate revenue? Hey, let's buy into the NFL Network and drive that one into the ground too. I've got some breaking news from Motown Mitch. Mitch is saying that it seems that the Lions and Zadarius Smith are close to a deal. We'll have to keep tabs on that one and see if that breaks. Can't count on Devin Poop. Come on, it's Davin Poop, not Davin Herb. Get it right, Brett. Broski will get mad at you otherwise.
Yeah, and Broski, I 1,000% agree with that one.
Yep. Uh-oh.
Good luck there, buddy.
Good luck. Hey, if you need to bribe him, coffee always works probably. Hope you have a better day than it's starting off. So there'll be no show for JB today after us. He is otherwise entertained, unfortunately.
I know he's crazy, but I don't know if he's that crazy.
I don't know if Kanye's voting for him, man. But like the original, the original ESPN commercials, oh my God, some of the best TV commercials ever were those ESPN commercials back in the day. I mean, the Y2K one was one with Mark McGuire and the baseball bat. They're pounding on the fax machine with the baseball bat, and Charlie Steiner with the tie around him, like a bandana, like it's like Lord of the Flies. I mean, ESPN isn't that anymore. Like, seriously, ESPN's a joke. No one watches ESPN anymore.
No, ever since the NFL Network came out and was actually running constantly, I've watched nothing but them when it comes to the sports shit.
So, ESPN getting into NFL Network is kind of a Hail Mary on their part to stay relevant. I
still watch NFL Countdown because Berman's on it.
Yeah, I like Berman.
I love to hear him say the Raiders.
Yep, that's why ESPN bought an NFL Network.
Well, that's it. I think we need to talk to ESPN and we need to get them to start funding us.
Because we're better than what they've got going on.
That was my point.
I mean, they've just become such a shit show over there, and it's a crime. Okay, I'm going to let Broski.
You will let Broski talk for us.
Because I think that's probably what most people think. Honestly, I think. Good morning, brother.
What's up there,
Hope
Cam?
everything's going good out there in the valley of the rising sun. Or the Valley of the Sun.
Yeah, I was gonna say you say rising sun.
Oh,
I
you
think
can,
Japan.
You can count on it, JB. It's going super woke, dude.
I mean,
you can count on
Hey,
it's not
they've
like
ruined
NFL,
everything else. Why not ruin football too?
and it's not like NFL Network is. They've got their biases, right? And they focus on one or two teams. It's not like they're great because like you watch the seasons, the schedule release special. And if you paid attention, you realize how friggin' stupid they are. They got the same two guys breaking down every team's schedule, right? So they'll do the Packers, for example, right? And they'll have the Packers would say at 12-3 or 12 and whatever. But for the Bears, for example, that's 2 W's. And then for the Lions, too. And every time the Bears came up against another team when they're breaking down, that's a W, that's a W. So by my assertion then, by listening to them do the other teams, the Bears should be 0-17 this year. They get to the Bears, they're an 11-win team. Really? You just said against every other team and you broke down their schedules, they were going to lose. And the Bears aren't the only example of this. Sometimes with the Packers, that was the case. They're going to look like they do not, they have no continuity in their thought processes at all.
Not only that, but besides James Jones and Adam Rank, they don't really talk about the NFC North very often. And if they do, it's a couple sentences and they move on.
And ESPN, that was one of the things I mentioned last night on Driving to the Top when we were on open mic was, look at ESPN. And the thing is, Big Rich used to work for ESPN Radio, right, in the Midwest, well, Midwest South. So I knew this would kind of hit him, and he fought back on it. I said, dude, this is not a Chicago thing. This is a Midwest thing. Everyone, if you go to any Midwest sports fan, be it the St. Louis Cardinals, the Green Bay Packers, the Minnesota Vikings, the Chicago Bears, the Detroit Red Wings, Lions, whoever, they will all tell you that the teams in the Midwest get absolutely zero love whatsoever because we're on the coast. There's a definite coast bias, definite East Coast bias over West Coast because the Giants could be the worst team in the world. The Packers could have been the best team in the world, and all they'd be talking about is the New York freaking Giants.
Tell me about it while I'm sitting here screaming at the fucking TV.
Yeah. So, good morning, Ralph.
Hey, what's up there, buddy?
Yeah, NFL Network at least is a little bit better covering all the teams. But here's the other thing about ESPN too. You got the 5 or 6 major food groups, right? NFL, NBA, MLB, NHL, MLS, the 5 major food groups. And then NCAA, so 6. And they'd be like, and they were doing hockey night, their hockey night once a week. They'd have their game, NHL game once a week. Stanley Cup final comes on. Like, oh, by the way, and they're doing Sports Center. Oh, by the way, the Florida Panthers won the Stanley Cup. Moving on to the dildos being thrown in the court at the WNBA game. I mean, like the NHL, the Stanley Cup final, and they give it like a 10-second blip, right? Or, hey, by the way, Germany won the World Cup today. Okay, moving on to this dropped ball in the 13th inning of a baseball game. It's like, really, guys? I mean, you know, they're bad at covering sports. They're bad at covering sports. They only cover certain sports somewhat. They don't even really cover baseball that much anymore. They have a massive bias. It's like, come on. Let's
cover MMA too.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Because to them that's wrestling.
No.
Hell, they cover. Actually, what's sad, they cover the WWE more than they cover MMA.
That's fucking ridiculous.
I totally agree. Like if it's a major fight, like the best card of the year, they'll talk about the main event for about 42 seconds, and then they'll move on. And it's like, dude, there's, they should have a dedicated MMA show on ESPN, like a once a week at least kind of show where you talk about. Like, that's how you build your fan base and attract new viewers, like there's plenty of MMA fans that don't watch ESPN because they don't really have a need to. But if you created an MMA show with guys who actually were knowledgeable about it, former fighters as hosts, like you could draw in a whole new fan base.
They try to do that with the NHL. They actually had some good people for the NHL to do their NHL show. And it kind of like now NBC does a much better job with the NBC Sports Network. They do a much better job at covering hockey. And look say what you want. I mean, the NHL draws, and has been growing its fan base over the last decade plus. Gary Bettman might be the best commissioner in professional sports in terms of growing their product, keeping consistency, and not being political. The NHL is very reactive to its fans. They're doing really great with NBC, and ESPN just treats them like, okay, the NHL, what's that? Oh, there's hockey. What sport is that? They'll cover lacrosse more than they'll cover NHL hockey. And when it comes to the football, the Giants, there was a rumor that such might happen. Forget the fact that something massive happened in Detroit or Green Bay or Minnesota or somewhere else. Now, what's the NFL Network going to look like with the mouse taking it over? And does this mean they're going to get rid of the guys who are on? And I kind of like a lot. There are some of the guys on NFL Network I'm okay with, but I even thought I'm paying poor Rich Eisen. Dude thought he was done with ESPN. Now he's back under the ESPN umbrella. What's it going to do to Rich Eisen?
I don't know, but I hope nothing because Rich Eisen likes the Raiders, and I like that.
Rich Eisen's like one of the only good people they've got on NFL Network. Because like it's not that NFL Network's got a lot of great
like the
people
past
either.
couple of years, he's been kind of getting pushed out of the NFL Network a bit. Because you notice, granted, I know he's gotten more popular and he has his own show and all that, but it just seems he went from hosting just about everything to now he has literally one thing.
Mm-hmm. But he likes the Raiders, so I'm good with that.
I didn't like Burger King
He
commercials.
actually covers the Raiders fairly, like,
Yeah.
you know, and not just fairly. Sometimes it's like, sometimes he acts like even a bit of a homer, which I'm like,
Rich
at least there's
Eisen,
one out there.
he covers everyone. That's why I like what
Yeah.
Eisen. Well, think about it. He's a throwback to the original ESPN days. You know, I mean, Good Morning Football used to be a really good show. Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't really, but a wise man once said, everything woke turns to shit. So, you know who that wise man was? He was your president. He is your president. That's facts, dude. Like, just give it time. Like, add Disney, just add Disney, a pinch of water, and a little bit of time, and ESPN is going to go down the shitter.
Well, I mean, so yeah, NFL Network. I mean, you got Rich Eisen, who's pretty fair. You've got Dan
NFL Network's
Orlovsky.
going down the shitter
They were
too.
talking-
All
They were
going to
talking
zero.
about, they were talking Orlovsky could be another guy to do Red Zone Rant. Like, please no. Please
Let's
no.
get Brent Musburger in there. Like,
Dude, he was on the Hall of Fame game. It was great to hear his voice in the booth again, man. Man's
he
old.
he was the commentator. He was the radio commentator for the Raiders a couple years ago, and like I get it. He's like a legend, but I mean, he was all right. He wasn't the worst we ever had, but he was no Greg Papa, that's for sure.
Yeah, Jim, you welcome Sarah to the show, and we'll circle back to her Minnesota Vikings here in a second. Look, the on-air talent for both ESPN and NFL Network is draining. There are some good voices on both networks who are actually not too bad. Is this mean like we're gonna get like they're gonna move people from one network to the other? You know, or how much are they gonna do? Is ESPN gonna?
I hope not, because that's one of the reasons why I like the NFL Network is most of the guys on there are former players, to where a lot of guys on ESPN are just guys that are for all sports.
Yeah, but you got some former players on NFL Network that are friggin' idiots. You really do. Just because you're a former player doesn't mean you're a good sports commentator, right? I mean, honestly, I know a lot of podcasters I would rather watch an NFL Network than some of these former players. Being a former player does not mean you're going to be a good anything, except for maybe explaining out maybe like the
There
life.
you go. That's what I like is the insight that you can bring.
But some of the but sometimes like even when they break down X's and O's, you're like, dude, no. Like you're an offensive guy and you're breaking down the defense, and you're like, no wonder why you didn't do X. You
But
know
then
what I'm
again,
saying?
to be fair, in my opinion, the best NFL commentator is a former player,
Yes.
Tony Romo.
There you go. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I don't think there's any doubt he's the best NFL commentator. Like, I think everybody has
he
come
is.
to recognize it.
He is. And we'll get to that in a second, bros.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Michael Irving's an idiot, but he is entertaining. I will give him that. Because
So, I mean-
you're just waiting to see the stupid shit that falls out of his mouth.
Yeah, so Sarah,
Or his nose.
welcome back, Sarah. What do you think
I
about
hopped on because I was on my way to work, and then I stepped outside, and there were police cars and a SWAT team blocking my street. So
What'd you
I had
do?
to tell work. I didn't do anything. Somebody on my block did something.
It's because Woody's
Well-
hiding in the bushes.
Yeah, Greg Olson is good too. But these guys, but look at when you look at Greg Olson and you look at these guys are doing game stuff. They're not doing studio shows. But Sarah, what do you think of the mouse Disney / ABC / ESPN taking over
I don't
NFL
want to
Network?
watch it. I don't want to watch it, so I don't care. I just hope that Stephen A. Smith is not going to get on fucking NFL Network and talk football because that dude's a fucking idiot. I can't stand him.
You know, everyone has said that. Every
Yep.
single person has said that, right? Oh, geez. He's asking Sarah, did they find your murder porn collection? Addison, and Isaac saying Addison is outside Sarah's house. Well, I asked Sarah what she did because, JJ is going to be her baby daddy. I was wondering if maybe Stat had to
I
play
didn't
with.
roofie him yet, okay? Calm down.
Yeah, it's hard to get real hip in all these days, man.
Yeah, it's hard to come across that stuff nowadays. So I haven't had a chance to roofie him yet. So it wasn't me. It was somebody else.
Three words for you, Sarah. Mexico.
So
You can
Sarah,
get anything in Mexico.
seeing as we have you here, Sarah, we're gonna get off the commentator and ESPN thing for a minute. Let's circle back to what we opened with because you weren't here. Addison missing 3 games. What's your take on that?
Last year he missed 3 games and we were fine. So I don't really see it as an issue because we're gonna probably run the ball more anyways. So I don't think it really because he's gonna miss the first 3 games of the season, and I think the first couple of games they're gonna run the ball and do everything they can to make it as comfortable as they can for JJ anyways. So
Yeah, you're missing. He's missing week 1 at Chicago, and then 2 home games, Atlanta and Cincinnati.
So, I mean, I'm not saying it won't be impactful, but I think that we're going to be running the ball more anyway, so it won't be as impactful because he and JJ has been having a connection at training camp, so that's who most of the balls JJ has been throwing to. So.
Yeah, Jim Jackson says double Jefferson and the Vikings might be in trouble in his opinion, and I'm on the same thing. But look at what Sarah says though. They got a good running back. They got a good running back room actually. And actually, if I'm in week 1 against the Bears, I'm testing that run defense that was absolutely not that great last year. They're good on the pass. Their pass defense was pretty good overall, but the run defense is where you could probably get the Bears a little bit. Test that new interior. And give them a steady diet of Jones up the middle, and see if the Bears. Now, if the Bears, the Falcons, and I doubt Cincinnati can, but if they can contain the run, I think that impact is a little bit harder. Their passing game is definitely going to suffer overall, but if their running game gets stifled by any of these 3 teams in the first 3 games, I think they could be in trouble for those games.
Mm-hmm.
Week 3, we don't even have a defense we're playing against.
The Bears is a good defense. Atlanta's a decent defense, and Cincinnati is no defense.
Yeah, she said
exactly.
week 3.
That's why I said week 3. We're going to be playing a team that has no defense anyway.
Week 3, though, dude, in a shootout against Joe Burrow, do you really want to run the ball when Joe Burrow is slinging the rock all over the place and they're putting up points? Like that
Joe
team
Burrow also doesn't have an O-line, so he's going to have issues with our
but even without that O-line, Burrow was putting up 32 points a game last year.
Yeah.
Like Burrow, Cincinnati's figured it out. They said they put some money in the O-line. They addressed it a little bit. They're like, we're just going to score 80 and make you score 84. That's Cincinnati's approach to the season.
And Cincinnati doesn't start playing for real until like week 8, so we got time.
Well, the other thing with Cincy, this is the first training camp in years where Joe Burrow showed up to camp healthy and is not injured. Good morning, Eric. So I don't know. I think we might see a different Cincy coming out of the gate this year. I think we might see a little bit of a different Cincy coming out of the gate.
We might, but if they don't have a defense, I mean, that's going to be tough to
yeah, they have no defense. Luca says Burrow's career might die against the Vikings. Everyone go ahead and laugh at Luca.
If I die, you mean Burrow puts up 50 points?
Yeah, the Vikings have a good defense. I will not take that away from them. But it's Joe fucking Burrow. Unless you injure him, he's going to be a problem.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Ken, Eric says he'll be on the show later today.
Well, unfortunately, buddy, I will not be because today is my old lady's birthday. So I got another packed day full today.
Man, hey, Joe, Ken's been in this relationship for a minute now. It might be getting serious.
Hey, all right, calm down there.
Are we
hey,
going to have to do like the wedding special soon?
hey. You can massively calm down there.
Oh no, you're gonna have to change your Facebook status to in a relationship now.
They're Facebook official. So, I mean, those were the two biggest news items yesterday, right? Was the suspension for the DUI case, which everyone knew was coming.
Well,
Three
it pisses
games.
me off because I'm like, how come Addison gets three games and Rasheed Rice is like, he's not getting anything? That's like fucking bullshit. He did way worse than Jordan Addison.
Well, has the NFL actually adjudicated that case yet?
Yeah, because he pleaded to lesser. He also pleaded to lesser whatever and got like 30 days.
Right, but they haven't
whatever.
adjudicated. Right, but the NFL has not made a decision on him yet. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, but I'm saying like his case was resolved before Addison. So how come he's not being hit with?
Why is it taking so long?
Yeah,
when they handed Addison's right out, I
Yeah,
get what you're
but didn't Addison's case actually happen first?
No, Rasheed Rice's case resolved way before Addison.
No, not
did.
resolved. Happened.
Yeah, I think it did because that happened last year, and I like at the beginning of last year.
Right.
And then I think
Jordan
this
Addison
shit there happened
in the
somewhere in like
summer.
the middle.
So I mean, I'm not disagreeing with Sarah here at all, but I'll say this: let's wait a couple days and see if the NFL does anything on the Rasheed Rice thing before we go off. Say, wait a minute. Now, if the season starts and they've done nothing, then Sarah should be waving that flag down. Should be flying out to New York with a big flag. Like, what the hell?
Hold on. After what happened at the NFL offices, I'm going to say don't fly out to New York right now.
Maybe hire a biplane to have a banner that circles NFL headquarters. Like, what the hell? Why is there no suspension for Rasheed Rice? There we go.
I won't even be able to breathe in the building. I won't get close enough.
But, I mean, the NFL and its adjudication of stuff, like we all, when we talk about the ESPN thing, we know how ESPN is kind of political. The NFL is very political too. Let's not be misguided here. They are. I mean, they're pretty darn woke themselves, but they've done a better job of not being so woke in the public eye. Right? They realized when they pissed off half the fan base politically that they need to back off their politics a little bit, and they have. But they're still a very left-leaning organization, the NFL. Let's not get it twisted. And the way they adjudicate justice, you can see it in the way they adjudicate justice. Or suspensions in their case, or some of their other little policies they come up with. So I don't know if Rasheed Rice is going to get off the hook, but man, the NFL, like, really, I think Goodell's just a shitty commissioner, but he makes some money.
Jordan Addison files an appeal.
Oh, he will. Yeah, look, and Luca's right. If Rice doesn't get suspended, it helps the appeal. I mean, I think he appeals. I think they, at minimum, chop one game off. I don't think they get rid of it unless nothing happens to Rice. But the NFL is weird like that, man. They do some. They're not actually a fair arbitrator on these things as we've seen in the past. Well, we're going to wait till the case has been adjudicated in the civilian courts. Oh, someone got arrested for domestic, automatic lifetime ban. Well, wait a minute. We don't even know if this case was real or not. Like, the guy hasn't even been charged yet. What are you talking about? And now they've backed off that. So, like, they're a little iffy and weird with the way they do things. Like, I'm surprised they have not banned the kid from Cleveland yet, second-round pick. He hasn't signed a contract yet, so I guess technically the NFL really can't do anything to him. And Cleveland's waiting to sign a contract to see if there are going to even be charges brought against him. So here's the thing. If this kid gets no charges brought against him or all the charges get dropped and he signs a contract, is the NFL going to suspend this kid right off the bat because he had a domestic violence incident, even though there were no charges? And that's a weird thing about the NFL. Even if there are no charges, they'll go and they'll suspend a guy for domestic, even though there were no charges. So the NFL. Oh, did he really say that, Luke? Well, 3 games, so yeah. I don't like the way the NFL does their justice of their self-policing, because they've already shown they're not fair in how they do it.
Yeah, if I don't see Rashid Rice get suspended before the season starts, I'm gonna.
And what have other guys gotten for a DUI in the past? Because here's the thing about Addison too. It was a DUI, yes. He pleaded down to another thing, but the dude. Here's the thing. Was he driving a vehicle? No.
No.
Was he on the side of the road sleeping in a vehicle that was turned on? Yes. Is that against the law? Well, technically, yeah. But, I mean, most people, if they're going to pull off, say, look, or not drive, say, I can't drive. I need to, be on the side of the road or in the parking lot and sleep this off. They're going to turn their car on because they're going to want music or air conditioning or heat or depending on what time of year it is. So most
was
people
in California in the summer. Yeah, he's gonna have the freaking air conditioner on.
Yeah, the AC on. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, what have other guys? What have other guys gotten for DUIs in the NFL?
I think it's 3 games.
I mean, but that's like if they're driving. This dude wasn't even driving. That's just bad. That's just count for something.
Yeah, but you're still going to get hit with the same charge whether you're driving or not, as long as those keys are in the ignition.
But you know what, though? In most states, a judge will downgrade from a DUI to something else because you were not driving. Because usually what will happen is like, Your Honor, I knew I was too drunk. I got in my car. I had no other way. There was Uber was an option, whatever. I got in my car to sleep it on. It was 100 degrees out. So I turned the car on so I could have music and AC. And the judge will usually go, yeah, I can understand that. And they'll not.
Yeah, not here in New York State. They will shove it all the way up your ass.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, California too. If you have the keys in the car in the ignition and you're intoxicated, that's DUI.
I wonder how they would handle my car.
It happened in California.
Well, here's the thing. I wonder how they would handle a guy who drives like a Tesla Model S, because there are no keys.
Yeah.
Your cell phone is your key. So what? You get a DUI because you're passed out in your car and you have your cell phone on you?
Or what if your car self-drives? So yeah, I was drunk, but I wasn't driving. My car was driving.
There have already been people that have tried that, and you still get hit with it.
Yeah, Luca, that's a fair point, though, too. That is a fair point. He probably was driving at some point because it was an off-ramp.
Yeah, I was going to say, I thought it was in the middle of an off-ramp.
He's not wrong. But still going back to, like, let's say you're TJ Watt and you're getting your brand new Model S Plaid you just bought with all this money you signed, and you were a little drunk. You're like, well, I'm going to sleep it off. Do you get a DUI in New York because you're sleeping in your Tesla with your cell phone on you? Because technically, like when I get into my car, I don't have car keys. I literally walk up to my car as long as my phone's on me. That's how my door's open for me. The second that happens, I sit in the car. The car is on. There's no ignition switch to turn. I put my foot on the brake, flick the screen to drive or reverse, and I'm gone. So if I'm getting into my brand new Model S Plaid and I'm going to sleep it off, do I get a DUI just because I have my cell phone on me in my car?
Oh, you better get in the passenger seat then.
I have a feeling Goodell's gonna do the Chiefs a solid and just not suspend him and be like, "Yeah, we need you guys back."
That makes more sense, Brent, and that makes more sense to what Ken said. Just make sure you're in the passenger seat. Because how can I drive from the passenger seat? Yeah, we'll see what happens with Rashid Rice. There's some do-outs here, right? As we get close to the season, is Rice going to get a suspension? Are the hold-ins going to get traded or sign contracts? All three have demanded trades. I think the only one that might end up getting the trade is Micah.
I don't think any of them are going anywhere.
Well, for Micah, the situation's a little bit worse for the Cowboys because the Cowboys actually are the worst off financially of the three. They would have to restructure a lot of deals in order to pay Micah next year because they're negative money. And they'd have to restructure like Dak's contract and give him more money or more years or more guaranteed. They're gonna have same with CeeDee Lamb. And like even with Micah, they're not a playoff team. right now. So like, I don't get what the Cowboys are doing. So,
And not just that, but Micah just came out and like he's been talking about his situation, but now he's starting to talk about Jerry, and that's not going to go. That's not going to fly, dude.
well, and like the business practice, like, right, I will no longer entertain meetings where you want to talk about my contract without my agent. Like, dude, really? You know? Hey, Mitch, we don't want to know what you're doing back there, but good on you.
Good on you.
But like, you know, and then he was saying, he said this, I would rather take less money and play for the Commanders because they have grit to be a good team. And so now
Did he
he's not
actually
just dishing
say-
Jerry, he's dishing the Cowboys and the
Did
coaching
he
staff.
actually say that he wanted to play for the
Yes.
Commanders? Oh, damn.
Yes. No, it was a attributed quote to him. I've seen it in 3 different articles. So, like,
Yeah, 'cause he wants to go play for a real quarterback.
I mean, I'm surprised he didn't say that, but he said that his team has no grit or vision. You know, and then the stuff he said about Jerry, and then the fact that their financial situation is so jacked up in Dallas with the money, the way they're spending the money. What now?
There's also a picture of.
No, I was just saying, did they extend Pickens or no? They haven't. Because he's going to be up for contract too.
Dallas. Well, Dallas has been signing
George
people.
Pickens,
I don't think they did.
and he's going to be up for a contract. He's going to want to get paid too.
Honestly, the Cowboys, man, should. Yeah, I agree, Brent. But Jerry does that. Well, we're buds, right? We hang out at barbecues. Let's talk. He does that kind of thing. Jerry's like the guy from King of the Hill, the car salesman who sells Bobby his horse when Bobby's going to buy a car. I don't know if you guys watched the new King of the Hill season yet.
No, I watched the first episode and
he's like the car salesman that sells Bobby a horse when he goes to buy a car. That's how slick he is. But I mean, I think it's 2 first rounders, and it's got to be a team that's probably doesn't actually have to be playoff ready this year, but a team that's ascending and has tons of cap room, like the Raiders. Like, they make sense.
Mm-hmm. And there's a photograph out there of Micah Parsons wearing a Max Crosby T-shirt.
no,
Just letting you know.
Like, there are a couple teams where like the NFC North, we all can forget it because we probably none of us have the money in our contracts, in our budgets over the next 2 or 3 years for them, and you'd probably lose too much in terms of other guys you need to keep to make the team functional at a high level, right? So the NFC North, we can probably forget about it because the draft compensation. I don't think any team in the NFC North would have a problem giving up 2 first-round picks for Micah. The problem is going to be the
I don't want
compensation.
him anyways. I don't want a player who does a podcast during the season. I just don't like that shit.
But like almost all the players do that now, don't they? I mean, it almost.
No.
I think every team has at least one guy who does one now.
Max Crosby does one, and he still plays at a high level.
Yeah, I mean, Sarah, I never understood that argument. Why that's such a bad thing? I mean, what? Okay, so let's say JJ starts doing a podcast on random Tuesdays or Mondays or whatever day of the week, and he does it for an hour. How does that affect him as a player?
No, I just don't like that because then they talk and all that, and I just don't like that. Like,
it can create extra drama outside and give bulletin board material.
like it already does for Micah.
I mean, if the guys are stupid enough to talk about next week's opponent, sure. Yes, the St. Brown show is actually pretty good. The St. Brown brothers is pretty good, and there are a couple guys, players that have pretty decent podcasts, and they don't get that billboard issues. They like, the Kelsey show is a little different because Trav is the only one still playing. But I mean, I agree with you, Sarah. I agree with you, Sarah, in terms of if they're stupid enough to talk about their upcoming opponent and create bulletin board material. Yeah, I agree with you. If they're just doing a football podcast, or maybe they're recapping the last game, they bring in a player from another team to have a conversation, like St. Brown does, I don't really have an issue with it because that show is so fun and lighthearted. They never really get too serious on that show. It's like, I guess if you're on the St. Brown model, I disagree. But if you're on the Micah Parsons, maybe I agree more. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
You play football for like what, 4 or 5 months out of the year. Go do your podcast after the season ends.
Yeah, and there's some truth to that too. Robert brings that comment. It's funny that Robert brings up. There's a meme floating around that Jerry Jones died 40 years ago, but had his consciousness uploaded to AI. The Cowboys still have 5 rings. I mean, he talks shit about all the conference, the divisional teams, and that's fine, though. You expect that. I have no problem with the St. Brown show. I think it's a pretty good show. I mean, I catch it every so often. I mean, but look, players are monetized on YouTube, and they make money, and it's just another revenue stream for them. That's kind of like, why doesn't Paramount Plus ever release its movie trailers for you to watch, like on Plex, on that app or something like that? Because they put them all on YouTube and they're monetized. That's why. So, I mean, these players are monetized on YouTube, and they're all making millions, not millions, but hundreds of thousands of dollars because they're also getting sponsors that are paying them good money.
So, did you guys watch the Lions Hall of Fame game? Boy, I thought this morning.
Their offensive abortion on the field? Yeah.
Well, is the rapper not here? Okay, it's safe. We had a guy, Sarah, come on last Friday and try to pick a fight, like a physical fight with Joe, which would have been funny to watch.
Oh God, I would have paid any amount of money to see that after seeing the pictures.
Justin the rapper on YouTube. He was mad because I was calling him Justin instead of Justin the rapper on YouTube. We checked out his YouTube. He looks like one of those guys from the Dad Life video, but more like Paul Giamatti in a really bad rap costume. And he can't rap. And he was saying, or he came on, Sarah, we shit you not, on Friday saying that the Chargers cheated, that the Lions were cheated, and that they should have won that game. And it was a great basically a great miscarriage of justice in the NFL that the Chargers won that game. His
How
YouTube.
did the Chargers cheat? Did Jim Harbaugh steal signs again?
It's Justin the rapper.
Justin May the rapper.
Oh yeah, Justin May the rapper. That's it. And if you didn't say if you made a comment and you didn't say, well, Justin May the rapper on YouTube, you're like, say my full name. It's a YouTube channel. It's like, whatever, dude.
We got a glimpse of their.
Justin may be a rapper, but it don't look like it.
We got a glimpse of their offensive coordinator, and I'm guessing they're gonna clean up some stuff because if their offense looks like that this year.
Yeah. Well, hey, Mitch said he'll be your Huckleberry. He'll step in for you with Justin May if needed. From that game, I think they found their backup quarterback in San Diego because he looked really good.
One game he looked good. I want to see it more out of Trey Lance before I.
But I think if anybody can revive Trey Lance's career, it's going to be Jim Harbaugh.
Yeah,
I agree. And Hendon Hooker looked like crap, and it's like, and there are Lions fans out there who want Hendon Hooker over. I'm like, it's like, really? I mean,
Hendon Hooker looked like the reason why they didn't trot him out at all. There's a reason why.
I just want to point out that in no way, shape, or form am I afraid of Justin May the rapper. So I don't need Mitch to step in for me, although I appreciate the gesture. Like, I'm perfectly capable of taking care of myself.
I'm pretty sure we could break both of Joe's arms and he'd still win that one.
And
are you going to be on the MMA show today?
Probably not. It depends on what time I get back.
How about a rap battle?
No rap battle.
So we may or may not have an MMA show tonight. We may or may not. We probably will have a House Hall report at 7 p.m. Central. Ken, myself, Joe, and the crew will be back here tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. Central to give you all that football morning talk that you so love and enjoy. Thank you, everyone in the comments. Thank you, Sarah, for coming on today. We'll see y'all tomorrow. We're out of time. Enjoy the day, guys. Joint practices start